There we go.
Let's see. Hi, Read With
Whoa. I'm in the wrong section.
Oh.
All right, so we'll give everyone, I guess, a second to come and join.
Yeah, it feels weird to be back on YouTube Live.
Know,
it's been a while.
I'm so used to Instagram. This is so different too, because it's like the comments are easier on Instagram in a way, because they're like always like right there.
Under you.
Yep. And that's versus this is like a little bit more. Okay. I think I like got my notes up.
I know. I've got a lot to say.
We have a lot to say. We have a lot that we got to get through.
A lot to go over.
We do YouTube because
hi, Rachel.
We don't. Hello, everyone.
Oh.
Yay, man!
Hi, Mandy. Sophie, hi. Are we ready to talk?
Are we?
Judith. I know, it's so sad. It's the last one.
The last one.
I know.
We got here. Like, oh my god. So, well, I like have my headphones in, and they're not plugged into my computer.
But I could hear you. So,
like, why does this sound kind of weird? Okay, that's fine. I'm here now.
It's time.
I'm like fixing my window. Get a little more light. There we go.
I know. I think both Kelly and I agree. It's been a long, long journey, though it felt really quickly.
16 weeks. Just like, I don't know what happened. But yeah, just thank you to every single one of you, whether you joined one chat or like all of them. It means a lot to both of us that you've all joined us on this journey. Yeah, I'm going to get emotional if I keep talking. So I'm going to stop. And like, let's talk about what we're drinking.
Okay, yeah. I think we both have bottles with us because this is going to be a long one. So I am drinking Pacificana Pinot Noir.
I love this. I decided to really celebrate what we're doing tonight. So I'm drinking Veuve Champagne, which is the best. I went to France last year when you could still travel places. And this is actually like the first female-owned like champagne like company. Yeah.
You had to do it for Grace.
Exactly. I have to do it for Grace, and their color is yellow. Come on. So anyway, cheers, Dana. Cheers, McLeiners.
Cheers, everyone.
Let's do this.
We've got a lot to discuss.
We have a lot. So Sarah-isms.
One last time.
We got her staples are all here, right? Like
kind of in ways, yeah.
Yeah. We have the cross-dressing, your fave.
Oh my god, she like almost always wears pants. I loved it.
She does. That's it. I'm like, it's not even cross-dressing. It's just Grace like really owning the fact that she can wear whatever the hell she wants in public, which I think
get done.
Yeah. And it's such a nice turnaround from like the first adult book with Callie, who was donning men's clothing to get into these male spaces, and Grace just being like, nope, I'm going to wear what I want and I'm going to do what I want and just like be a badass about it. Yes.
And she's making her own female spaces.
Yes.
Where she can wear pants, and it's beautiful.
Queen. And she's
Greek myth.
We have the Greek mythology. We have Apollo and Cyrene, the lion killer. So we're kind of back to our super tragic Greek mythology.
No, but it's tragic, but not really. Like, it's not tragic for Cyrene, in a way.
Yeah. I mean, it's she
doesn't get love. But
she gets what she wants, but she doesn't get love. Yeah. Well, and I think too, right, like in the moment when they start talking about it, like it seems to remind Grace a lot of the way that men take choices from women and take power from women and like just want to kind of lock them up somewhere and not let them have the ability to run their own lives, which I think is where, when they're talking about that myth, it like, think of like rattles Grace to her bones. It's everything that she's pushed back against for all of these years. and has like fought to change and is currently fighting against as like her club is being raided. She doesn't even realize it yet below her.
And it like harkens back to the like themes of needing and wanting. And it's at the end of the day, what did Grace need and want? Which at times were separate things, but that was great. But also we learned in the live with Sarah that like she had written down this myth and it was like Cyrene, the lion killer queen, like, and knew that it was going to be for Grace.
Yes.
But like didn't remember.
It had to be. Because I think too, right, the tragedy in this myth is that like Apollo expected Cyrene to give up everything for him and clearly did not entertain the opposite notion. And like Grace gets her HEA because Ewan does. He does what like Apollo, this god, could not. He decides to give everything up for his queen and live in her kingdom and take her name. And I'm already so excited to talk about the fire, but we'll get there.
But first we have to talk about deal making.
Yes.
Because this book, the like initial kind of conflict doesn't start out as like a deal between the hero and the heroine of like, you do this for me and I'll do this for you. But there is so much deal making in the previous books.
Yes. I feel like this book is the fact that like the deals have been broken, that we had this deal of like no heirs, and it seems like Ewan has tried to break this. We had this deal that we would all leave and flee together, and Ewan seemed to break it. So this is sort of like the repercussions of breaking those previous deals, which is such a fun twist for Sarah, because usually we'll see that contained in a single book if we ever see it. And here we're dealing with all of that, but also finding out that Ewan kept those deals, but in a different way than any of the bastards actually understood or expected from him.
And again, that goes back to past being prologue for this book and for everything Sarah really writes. But also, I think some deal making kind of can be argued for things with every time they had sex, it felt like it was like only for one night and then it was never one night. So a lot of breaking of deals between them in that way that like fantasy and what their heart really wanted didn't match up.
No, it didn't. I mean, one night in the gazebo is never one night in the gazebo. Like
it's never one night with that trope anyway.
No. And like he didn't want it to be. I mean, that's what I love about this so much, right? Is that Grace has built her name creating this community where women can like ask for what they want and live out their fantasies. And Ewan tries to give that to her at every step of the way. Like he's like, fine, if you need to believe this is one night, I'll give that to you. If you need to believe we don't recognize each other right now, I'll give that to you. Like he is just giving her the option at every turn, giving her those choices. And like we stand, we have to. He's so good. And he had so much to make up for. And I know that we all kind of went into this, like she's going to pull it off because she pulled off Malcolm and Sarah, but like how is she going to pull it off? Like people have died.
And I think that of like on the reread of having read the first two books, just like obviously immediately before this, you just like felt the soft boy in him the whole time. And the casualties, I was like, who died? I don't even know them.
I know, that's the thing. And I think like usually in romance, they're connected, but they can be read as standalones.
This is not a standalone.
This is not a standalone. Like I think this is an epic grovel novel on its own, but I think the grovel begins so much earlier. And I think his redemption arc begins so much earlier because we see him just searching the world for her. Like what we get in Day of the Duchess where Malcolm like mentions that he's searched for her. We see that in 2 books here where he is just like trying to get to her and that he like loses his ever loving mind when he thinks that she is dead and that like everything he's done, the sacrifices that he's made are for nothing now because she died anyway.
And I think even with past being prologue, the prologue that happens in Wiccan and the Wallflower is the HEA for Daring and the Duke, of like, here is this fairy tale of how could these two children who fell in love so beautifully, as innocently as they could, even though they were surrounded by all this darkness, and they get separated, and we'll tell Grace's story eventually. This is the fairy tale, not Wicked and not Brazen. That's reality. This is what's magical. Yeah. And I find that so beautiful that like this story arc can only happen together, because we don't see that prologue in Brazen and here. It's just kind of passing story on. Again.
Yeah, I agree. This book feels very different from all of Sarah's other books to me. And I have seen like some critical, readers are going to read and like whatever they want or not like whatever they want. And I've seen some people critical of this and like kind of calling it unrealistic. But I think that that's missing the fact that she's not trying to tell some like super realistic historical fiction story right here. She's telling a story where these kids were literally all born the same hour, the same day, to like different mothers, and that somehow they're all brought together. Like, I know that we've talked a lot about seeing the Fated Mates references earlier in this series, but I see them hardcore here. Is that Grace and Ewan were like the formation of each other in so many ways, where like he had this rough childhood in the garden and like learned to be kind and soft and something different than just a fighter when he met her. Like Grace had nothing before they all showed up. And he's like,
no name.
She had no name. Like the cruelty of that you like, don't have an identity. And I know identity is something some of our readers in the group struggled with Grace. It's like this question of, do we actually know her? And I think Grace doesn't always know herself. I think she has built up a lot of walls because the one time and the one person she really started to figure that all out with betrayed her. So she has just built this whole persona based on that. And the second he starts to contradict that story that she's told herself, she's lost. She doesn't know who she is anymore without all of that.
That, I don't know, hearing that reminded me so much of Lily from A Scott in the Dark. That was Lily and Alec, right? Yeah. Of like this girl who like no one ever really cared about her. No one talked to her. She had nothing and she was so alone. And we see like that she wanted just like anyone to grasp onto. And I think that connection of Ewan and Grace is like that like so innocent bond feeling so powerful. Yeah. And I think again what's really beautiful is that Ewan, as adults, they relearn each other. And I think you don't always see that in second chance romances where it feels like they have to get to know each other again and learn each other as adults. I don't think we don't see really that with Day of the Duchess in the same way because they were fully formed people.
Exactly. Like they met much later in life. They kind of knew who the other person was, at least on some level. And I do love that they've like, they slept together and they kind of have cemented that. And like we know as Sarah readers that she never has them sleep together until they love each other. But what was so phenomenal about that whole scene is that they both say they love each other, to each other, but they're very specific about it. They're like, I love you as you are right now. Like, it's not pining for like who you used to be or this like idealized version, which I think is like a risk in like a pining romance, right? Like, could Ewan have kind of like this vision of who Grace became and then she's not that person? Because she's not like the soft little girl that he knew. She's like the opposite of that in so many ways. So the fact that he, like when he proposes to her after she has knocked a man out cold, like that is what I'm living for, is that he's like, I see who you are now and I love you and I loved who you were then and I will love who you will be tomorrow. Like whatever. And I know. And just while we're like talking about the Fated Mates thing, I like looked it up, and Dahlia means she's the goddess of fate in Lithuanian mythology. Yeah, So name is destiny. So like
name is always
that,
destiny.
like the name that Grace gave herself is like fate. Is so good. But also the fact that in giving her the name Grace, like Ewan bonds them forever because he's, you know, his Grace, your Grace, and she's Grace. Like it just ties them in a way that like heroes and heroines normally are not tied together. They're like so linked in that way, which is why it's so powerful when he like severs that to actually become even closer to her. That like that's the way, real way to be tied to her forever is not in sharing this name, it's in giving it up.
But she, like, in also doing that, he doesn't want her to be his duchess, but he wants to be her king, to stand by her side.
Yes.
So there's still so much power in the name Grace because they're still royalty together.
Yes. And there's like, he has his own journey with that too, of, you know, after they've like fought this raid together in the club, he's like so enamored with her. And he's like, let me give this to you. You will be my duchess. Like, it's all going to be great. And like his exact line is, I can give you everything you've worked for. And it's that phrasing is clearly so specific and like intentional on Sarah's part, where it's like, I will give you this thing you have done. And she wants no part in that. Because she's the one who worked for it. She deserves to earn it on her own, not because a man came along and decided to hand it to her. So it's like very reminiscent of Hattie and Beast. Mm-hmm. But she also has this line where she says, I have no desire to be complicit in your world. And it's so good. It's so good. And I think illustrates how toxic they see like society, the ton, the patriarchy is, and the fact that to get what she actually wants, which is to give women choices, to give women their fantasy, to give them whatever they want, she can't also be complicit in a world that holds them down. She can't be connected to it because it's never going to work.
I love that so much. And that kind of is the perfect segue to all of our discussion thoughts on just Grace as a person and a character. I love all of the real, like, we didn't get to really fully talk about other characters that we did pop up and see, which I assume we'll get to at some point. But I really love the connections that we have with Georgiana with her. Obviously, we've seen these series patterns for Sarah of she starts out with a wallflower. She ends up with like a very strong female character who wants to own a business. And who's like very different from everyone else. And we see that so clearly with those two characters. But what I love the most is how she's really empowered by sexual freedom. Mm-hmm. She runs a bordello. She's so kind to these sex workers, and she really like allows the fantasy for other women. And we know she's been with other men and had no commitments. And even we know that like contraception is like a thing, and she knows that women in the garden, in Covent Garden, know where to go to get rid of things, to make sure things don't happen. And I think the power that we see with Grace is like unlike anything else we've ever seen from Sarah MacLean's other heroines, especially thinking about Callie. Like Callie is like the most repressed character. And I think that's also from Sarah saying that like this is the character that like that book is everything she ever wanted or was reading. And so now it's like this is what Sarah knew, and now this is what Sarah realizes she could do for romance. Yeah. It's like
I feel like this book feels very like we do not need to color inside the lines anymore. Not that Sarah really has ever, no. But it's like really like I am gonna give you a duke, and I'm just gonna break all of the conventions and the thoughts about what that duke is and like who he should be and like how this should ultimately end. And she does that with Grace too. You're right. And I did a lot of, thinking about like Grace versus Georgiana in all of this. And I think there's so much strength in what Georgiana does. And we love her as a heroine, especially as someone who sees again how harmful the ton is. And she's like, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm going to like become more powerful than any of you can ever imagine. but she's still in a position where she has to hide her identity, and she like can't really own that. When she's on the floor, she's dressed as a sex worker rather than like behind the scenes where she's like in pants as the boss. And I love that Grace has a name to like hide her, protect her from Ewan, but that's all it is. It's to protect her from Ewan. It's never because she like has to actually hide who she is in her own kingdom. Mm-hmm. And I think that's so powerful, is that like everyone in the garden knows who she is, knows her face, like her power is understood. And that kind of agency from her just builds so nicely off of what we saw in Georgiana, and I think really pushes it even further. Like, I'm like, I don't know what she's going to do in Hell's Bells. Like, where can we go from here, Sarah? Where we're literally burning down the patriarchy. Like, I don't know.
Cecily's going to do it. She's going to burn it all down again. And what I love, too, is that, you know, Georgiana obviously is so powerful. And I think we even get a mention of, like, you know, the fallen angels owned by 3 incredibly wealthy aristocrats and the most powerful man in London. But she has to pretend to be a man to gain her power, whereas Grace does not have to pretend to be anyone other than herself.
Yeah.
And it's so beautiful. And I think also like the protecting herself from Ewan, but also protecting that name from anyone else was really important to her, because like no one besides the brothers call her Grace, and they don't call her Grace in front of anyone else. And it's really like a powerful name to like use, and name is destiny. But also, like, thinking back about Georgiana, like, the fact that she doesn't have sex again after she has sex the one time and is kind of ruined and has her daughter, she abstains. And I think that doesn't feel as powerful as it should be. Like, it's just like another virginal heroine despite that one time. And I love that Grace is just so open about it, and there's so much power in that.
It is awesome. And I love that too. That she has this conversation with Ewan after they sleep together where, you know, they were kids, they were in love, they clearly thought that they might together, you know, end up having each other's first time. And she kind of makes a comment like, that was supposed to be for you, like, you know. And he's like, you've still given it to me. Like, I still got it, girl. Like, it's all good. And I love that too, that he didn't have any expectations of her. Like, oh, she should be saving herself for me. Like, you know, virginity needs to be on this pedestal. It's just, he's so happy to finally be there with her. None of that matters. But I also appreciate that we like also aren't super dismissive of past, you know, like lovers. I was reading a romance recently and it like really rubbed me wrong, where like the hero was like, none of the women before you ever mattered. They were meaningless. And I'm like, I don't like that talk either. Like, that's not cute. So I like that Grace is just like, I've taken my pleasure when I wanted it, and when I didn't, I didn't. And it's like as simple as that. Also, is Ewan a virgin? This is the real question. It's a big question.
He knows how to go down very well. So it's like, boy, where'd you learn that? But also, it doesn't seem like there was like, maybe that was a part of the year that he was gone.
In like America.
Maybe he never slept with anyone, but then he was like, well, I got a girl to please. So drop my book. That was him learning how to be a better person.
This is part of the journey. Yeah. And like she outright asks him, she's like, do you like have a lot of experience with pleasure? And he's like, no. Like, he's very quickly like, no, I don't.
No one else could have given him pleasure besides her.
Yes. Truth. It's just interesting. And
he does seem virginal, and I would love it if he was.
I think it's like kind of my headcanon that he is. Like that, like Grace didn't save herself, but he did. I had it so like.
But like ruination is also never on the table in this book.
Yes.
And it was not also like, it was never something Hattie worried about. And I think that sets at least these 2 books going forward. Like, scandal and ruination is no longer the biggest consequence for a woman. Yeah. And knowing that Hell's Bells will have a suffragette, perhaps, or like a woman, like a blue stocking. So it's like they're caring about way other things besides being ruined.
And I feel like in Sarah's other books, right? Like we're in historical fiction realm, but we're not really being impacted by actual moments or events in history. And we see all of that start to change here because there's like a very explicit mention of Queen Victoria has just been crowned. And there's this ripple effect of women feeling really empowered by this. And on the flip side, we have men who feel very threatened by the idea of a woman having that much power, being the seat of power in the whole country, and them striking back. And also Victoria not being like a super feminist monarch because she's kind of gets,
controlled by men too.
Yeah, like goes a very moral route and is like trying to shut down all of these places like the bordello that Grace runs. But I think that's a really interesting choice on Sarah's part and something we're clearly going to see in Hell's Bells because I think we're not ending on this series of raids for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, I think the Bells are going to try to fight back, and I'm real excited to see that. But I also, another great line from Grace where when Ewan is kind of just like, what is happening? And she's like, they don't like that we're the future. And it's like that kind of, right? And there's all of that, so much of this book, the series is wrapped up in the past versus the future. And I love that we end here with the future. And I think through these heroines, we do get this hope that there is like a brighter and better future, that people like the Masters and like Grace, like Hattie, like Felicity are going to continue fighting back against these different injustices and like fighting for choice and control and like
for
all of these other things for their daughters. I love that they all have daughters. I'm like, Sarah, you would.
It's gonna be a future series. I feel it. She's gonna do it to us.
It has to be.
And it's like a very large time jump for the future.
Yeah.
Like obviously Hattie was pregnant in chapter 19 because I know I love that chapter. She was pregnant and she just wants to eat, and we stand. And her daughter is like 9 years old. So it could be a future, within the decade series from Sarah MacLean.
We could. I'm curious. Yeah. If I know Sarah's has said that she's really sad to be leaving these characters in particular. So I'm not going to be surprised if we see them in Hell's Bells and we like get a little bit more about those daughters.
Everyone's friends with Cecily. So
who wouldn't want to be friends with Cecily?
Oh my God, this Mari, we're gonna Summer of Sarah MacLean reunites.
Yeah, MacLeaners.
Kelly has a whole slogan for this.
I do. Well, because Sarah refers to like her entire, backlist because everything's interconnected as the MCU, which is, in like film world, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but here's the MacLean. So we're just going to send out the like MacLeaners assemble when the Hell's Bells book comes out. So just be ready, be on the lookout.
It'll be a bat signal. We're DC logos, but like whatever. And we'll just be like, MacLeaners, you know what to do.
Come, we'll be ready. We're going to come back and talk about who all the Hell's Bells characters are as well. But I know that we got some more to say about Grace.
Yeah, we've really switched around. We have like an outline every week. And somehow this is like the most chaotic we've ever been.
Just so much to say.
I'm so excited.
I really want us to talk about like the theme of reclaiming in this book because I think it's so powerful.
I love how it also just reclaiming of the garden is so important here, especially for Ewan. I like his backstory of his mother is so sad, of how the father like literally took all of her possessions from her and left her with one box of jewels of like silk it was. And he thought it was like, wow, what a kind thing to do. Like you left her with like some like positive things, but then he like learned later on, well, like silk is gonna get ruined real quick, and he left her with nothing. And the idea that like this whole time he had been there and hoping that he could give back to his mother, like that's the man he wants to be for the woman he loves, is like not wanting to be the father. I don't know if that was reclaiming. I just like went off on a tangent.
It's all good. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. I think Ewan's story, like once you finally get the full version of it, is so moving because we do see someone who just, I think, always does want to protect people and like do what's right and like has spent all of this time working on himself. And something I love is that he's like obsessed with Grace in this book. We use that word a lot in the chats, and it's true. Like he comes across as very single focused. Yeah. But at the same time, we get these moments where we find out that he's been trying to put bills through in Parliament. He's trying to use his power to help the garden. Where when Grace leaves him in the gardens after his masquerade, he goes to Hattie because he's kind of like, even if she won't take me back, I gotta fix things in the garden. And he wants to know if he can have a job. Like, I really believe that even if Grace was like, I'm done with you, he would keep fighting for the garden because it means so much to him. And I think that in itself is so wonderful. And
I think too, it's like why, like the reason they went there, that's not where Beast and Devil were from. Obviously not where Grace was. Like she went to where home was for him, and she wanted to rebuild the garden for him. And she always had the hope that he would find her and come back to her. And I think that's so beautiful that like, even if they never saw each other again, they always had these hopes of like reclaiming the garden to be a better place for each other. And I love that scene of like him washing the clothes with the other women. And we get such strong, like little backstory for her of like the rooftops and how she learned that from Asriel, who we adore. He's a background bay. Maybe he'll eventually get his heroine. What if it's the Duchess? That would be beautiful.
Asriel.
I know, he's just like so, I love how he reads books. It's great.
I know.
But like it's there that I feel like we really see like we had those scenes with Beast and Devil of like just normal moments in the garden and why it's so special, the people there, and him like and the power dynamics of him washing the clothes and not caring, and how did he know this? Because it was his mother. And that like brings back like why it's so like a powerful place for both of them.
Yeah. And I think
the kiss.
It's also this like beautiful glimpse into who he could have been if like the real Duke of Marwick hadn't come and like kidnapped him and taken him out of this life. And it's Grace kind of has this moment of thinking like, this is a man like I could fall in love with like safely, you know, like, and not have to worry about all of this background. But I think that's it too. Like when I say the bastards, I tend to mean Devil and Wit. So Devil and Wit and Grace kind of reclaim the garden themselves. But I think a huge part of this, you're right, is Ewan coming and like taking it back for himself too, to kind of be like, you all pushed me out of this space that's my home, but it's my home. It's always going to be my home, and I need to be here for it, which is amazing. We also get a kind of a reclaiming of the word bastard, which we learn in this book. The Duke always like used against them as an insult. And I think we kind of see that with Felicity a little bit, and Hattie as well, kind of reclaiming these terms that like they have been spoken about as like spinsters, like on the shelf. And they're kind of like, okay, well, like screw that because I am worth something regardless of that term. And someone in the chat earlier brought up the tattoo. Like reclaiming like on her body this thing that was done to him that like bound the two of them together in another way, but turning it from an M into an E. The first time I read that, I lost my mind. Like, Grace.
And then there's that like tiny thing in the future of Grace telling him that their daughters want a dog, and he's like, no. And she's like, well, it won't be like last time. And it's like everything they do is like rewriting the history of their father and trying to be better than that.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of power in the fact that like the prologue in Wicked and the Wallflower is titled The Past. And then the epilogue in Daring and the Duke is titled The Future. And like
that was the present.
Yes. Like beautiful in the middle piece. And like we've talked before about how influenced Sarah was like in writing this series by like the Me Too movement was happening at this time. The Women's March was happening at this time. And I think though we're not dealing with those same themes in this book, I think we're still seeing this like recovery from trauma and like learning how to forgive yourself for like things that you may have done, learning how to move forward from things that were done to you. Like there are just so many layers in that for each of them because they kind of each have their own baggage related to that and these things that they like either regret or like wish they could do differently or like have plans for the future. And I think the fact that none of them like let themselves dream about it, like none of them envisioned getting married, having kids, like that was the bargain, that was the rule. And like even though like Devil and Wit and Grace didn't win the dukedom, they were still going to abide by this rule, like for no reason. And it's just to see them all in the future moving beyond that and like on this road to healing, I thought was really incredible. And again, just like tying the whole series together in a way that historical romances just usually aren't. Like it's not just surface level, oh, they're all sisters, they're all brothers, like, which is fun. I love that. Like, give me all of it. But this is something, it's like you have to read every book and you have to read them in order. Like you are not getting the full story if you only read one of these. And that's the work Sarah's doing in this series, like just blows my mind.
And I think that made this so much more, impactful of reading them continuously together, but reading them with other people and everyone pointing out all of these tiny details. And I think also then harkening back to all of the past heroes and heroines, because everyone in her books has some trauma.
Yeah.
Mostly it's the men because he likes them to be wounded.
We all do.
But in this book, it's so unique in that the trauma is shared, like it's a shared experience that no one else has had. It's, you know, especially youth trauma, which is so damaging for just anyone mentally. And I think that's making this book feel so unique, especially since we've met these characters in earlier books and seeing Ewan in the past books and knowing that he never lied about anything he said and that was who he was. He was always truthful to a fault, which made him seem like a liar to them because they couldn't believe that what he did for them was what he did, that he took that trauma for them in the end. And I think when Devil and Wit realize the shit that he had to live through by saying that could have been worse than what they had to deal with living on their own in the garden, I think that's when they have that like, oh shit moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. They kind of realize they're like, he has been trying to make his penance for 20 years, which is, and that's where like, I like have looked at a lot of reviews of this book, like positive, negative, and like some people like think it's like ultimate grovel novel, and then some people are like not enough grovel. Again, I think it's because it begins in this book, but B, I think the grovel isn't necessarily someone being like, I'm sorry. It's proving that. And we see here that like he had to make this ultimate sacrifice to give up any chance of like security or safety or hope for himself to like let them get away. And yet he's like doubly punished for it because he knows that they believe him. So he like did the right thing and yet still is like beating himself up for years over it and trying to make it right for them. And I think taking all of this terrible abuse from their father as a way of being like, well, at least it will keep them safe. And like the moment they all realize that, and then the tables turn and they're the ones who go for him, it's just like, it's so good. And I love it because that's like, he deserves it after everything. that he's been through. Like, he deserves for them to show up for him, to run after him the way that he has been, like, trying.
Burn it down. But I think too, it's like so interesting how in many ways they're all equals. Like, none of them really were from the ton. Like, they were all bastards together. They all came from the same position in life and their directions. Like, it's equal opportunity. And I think that's something Hattie really championed in the last book.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's kind of us moving England with the series towards, like, true kind of democratic ideals, but obviously through a white narrative. And it, obviously going towards Victorian and taking us out of the ballroom, out of Regency, really kind of fulfills what, like, is so fun about reading, like, non-Regency historicals, is that time is so important, and seeing characters be able to flourish who may not have is so beautiful. Sarah's doing everything, and people who reviewed this book badly, like, I don't understand. I don't know.
You know,
they didn't understand this book.
Like, I will not yuck anyone's yum, and we all have different tastes, but also you're wrong.
They're wrong.
And I think what I love too about this book is that we not only have, like, heroines and heroes who, like, are able to be empowered themselves, is that they are trying to share that power, that they're doing the opposite of what, like, society and the ton is doing, where they're not hoarding it for themselves. They're like, how can I use the privilege that I have to help other people? I know, Christina. I don't know. It's madness. It's fine. We're not talking about it. It's fine. I, like, had another point. Okay, I know. We gotta talk about
somehow we've spent even more time than normal.
I know. We gotta talk about burning down the patriarchy.
Oh my god, yes.
So good. And, like, we talked about this in, like, the group chats today, and, like, I think what is really powerful here is that, like, Ewan did try to do the thing where he was like, I'm gonna use my title to try to help, and he, like, gives her this name as a way of giving her the title. He goes to Parliament. He, like, gets this job with Hattie, and it's when he gets this job with Hattie is that he is like, this is the only honest work that I'm doing. It's the only thing that is actually helping people. And the fact that he, like, decides to totally disengage is really, really powerful, I think, because it's really is this, like, acknowledgement that the system, the, like, overarching system in society is broken. And it's not the kind of thing that you can work with, because it's going to be the kind of thing that, like, always, hang on, now I want to read.
No, so it's exactly what you're talking about. It's like the patriarchy
it's just pushing
not
people down.
Work for anyone, especially for women, like, obviously people of color and
anyone marginalized,
anyone different.
Yeah, like, anyone queer, anyone poor, anyone disabled. Like, it's not going to work for you.
And it's an evolution that we've seen in Sarah's writing, where it's like, here, you know, in her first adult novel, the season doesn't count because the season was pure fluff. With 9 Rules, we have Callie, who both these characters fully, like, at the end, kind of embrace aristocracy, and they're, you know, throwing all the balls, doing all the things. But we have Callie questioning this and thinking about what her life is like in this cage, and wondering the women who are sex workers outside of it and what it's like for them.
Yep.
And we see Ralston does know that, like, outside of the cage isn't as great as it is inside the cage sometimes. And that, like, it's all terrible.
Yeah.
And I think finally we have a heroine who's like, I'm not going to do that shit because I don't want to, and I don't have to because I'm outside of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's still relegated to the garden in a lot of ways.
And we see that backlash through one of the hardest chapters for me to read is the raid, where it is just destroying everything that she has worked for. And it's, like, very violent, like, wording and imagery, where we're talking about, like, slashing the pillows open, like, which, like, that imagery alone of this, like, very, very, like, harsh, violent thing, like, attacking just softness. And that chapter just kind of like gutted me in so many ways, because it's like, this is men's reaction to you trying to upset their status quo. And like the ultimate gut punch is that this is not like men these are not men of the town. These are not toffs attacking the club. Like, one of the men from the garden is here, Mikey, who's one of the ones who attacked Hattie in the last book. And it's just like, you're turned on by your own people because they're blaming you for their own lot in life. And they would rather take this like bit of quick money and like push you down further because you're a woman and because you're like challenging them, or you're doing maybe what they can't. And it's just so upsetting. And I'm glad that we see them starting to rebuild. And then immediately, like, even though Grace is like, everyone go home, they're like, okay, boss, we're going to start cleaning up then. Like, they're like, no, this is our place too. You're the boss, but it's our home and we have a choice and we're going to fix it.
And I love that despite how emotionally devastating that is to have it ruined, we have these moments where it's like all she cares about in that time is making sure that even that all of the people, all of the members that put their trust in her to have their fantasies fulfilled were out safely, that all of their names and all of their accounts were preserved and, you know, not taken by the raiders.
Yeah.
That like she truly cared about other people and their secrets in like, it was a beautiful kind of way, because like she could have just saved herself.
Yeah.
But that's not who she is. And at the end of the day, Devil and Wit were like, girl, you got a shit ton of money. It's going to be fine.
I know. And that's the thing. Yeah.
Like power comes back.
Yeah. Like, she's not necessarily mourning the loss of the physical items. What she like is mourning is she's like, some of these people won't come back. And like, I don't think she's mourning the loss of money there either. Because yeah, she has it. She's like wealthy and she's fine. It's the fact that these women have to go back to a place where they had less choices, they had less opportunities, and like that they might be there forever. They might never again step outside of that bubble, because now it's been like, okay, well, it's not safe for you to do that. Go back into your fancy gilded cage and stay there. And like, this book, I don't know, it like leaves me like really fired up, like no pun intended, in a lot of ways.
The most fired up you've been.
The most. I like hurt for them and I feel for them and I like want to burn something down and like, you know, which again is I think where it is like the coolest thing ever that he burns the house down.
And he told us he might burn it all down in book 1. We love that. Sarah like knew how to plot this series so well.
Yeah. The joy of rereading these first two, having read this already, I just like highly recommend, if this was the first time you read this, just go back to these two, because there's so many.
Do it all again.
Just do it all again. Summer of Sarah MacLean.
Get more out of it.
It's fine.
And I think so. Truth bomb right here. I think Kelly and I talked about this slightly. Whereas I can say like this writing wise is 5 stars for me. Like it's everything MacLean does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do I feel like as on the reread as emotionally like invested as I was the first time around? No. But am I as here for it as I was even more so now because of the rereads of the past two?
Yeah.
So do I think this is my new favorite Sarah MacLean, even having read it now twice? No. But it's still amazing, and I don't know how anyone could have written it badly.
No, yes, that's the thing. This is a 5-star read for me, but it's also not a 5-star read for me because of this book on its own. It is a 5-star read for me because of the way Sarah set everything up in these two books. Like, this is payoff. That's what this whole book is. And it's like, I can't rate that solely without these. Oh, we will get to our favorites. You do not worry.
We're almost like an hour in.
Yes.
We will be ranking them very soon. Have we discussed all the things? I feel like we did things out of order.
We did. I think we've talked about most of it. I think something that also I think hit me really hard on this reread is the Brotherhood. between Ewan and Devil and Wit. And I think for so long, Ewan like villainized them because he's someone who grew up in the garden needing to fight for survival, and then at Marwick Estate needing to fight for survival. And I think when that was all over, he needed a reason to fight because that would like push him forward. And I think the boys became the villain to him as a result of that. And like just like the other ones didn't dare envision a future for themselves, I think he, having lost his mom, having lost Grace, it's kind of like Beast. Like I think he like couldn't let himself think about loving them or having them in his life, because it's like, why do that when you lose everything you love anyway? So the moment after he slept with Grace and he said he loves her, he finally starts to think about them and think about wanting them as part of his life and his family. And like that sort of development from him was really special for me to see, because he's so focused on Grace. Yes, and I agree. I think he was jealous that like they get to be with the woman he loves, which is why he lost his damn mind when he thought that she died and they like let her.
And it's too, it's all of the toxic thoughts that the father put in his head of like them, you know, angling siblings as rivals is so just damaging for, you know, this relationship. But like, you know, in reality, for any relationship where siblings are pitted against each other, of like ranked against like who's the best and who's not. And that's so important. And I think chapter 19 for me is the other side of the story of having Felicity and Hattie champion Ewan to Grace.
Yeah.
And then also Devil and Wit kind of being like, oh, maybe it's not so bad.
They have such a turnaround on him. Like, and that's where, like, when they initially invite him to come and, like, haul ice for them, it's, like, such an olive branch. And I feel like it's because they realize, like, something clicks in their brains. And I think it's probably because they've already both been laid low by love. And they kind of realize, like, well, I would have also burned everything to the ground and, like, exploded 2 ships if anything happened to the woman that I love. So, like, again, we're not excusing the people who died. Like, that was not cool. But I think, like, what saves Ewan as a hero is that, like, he didn't do it himself. It's, like, still not a great look. But yeah, I like that they sort of reluctantly give him a chance to make things right. And they give him a chance at Grace, which I think is so huge. They've spent their whole lives protecting Grace from him, hiding her from him. So for them to invite him there, it like is really, I think, them giving their approval. Like, all right, if you can win her, and we don't think you can, but like you have our blessing here, you know.
I know. I just love them so much.
I already do miss all of them. I do miss all of them. We asked you all descending questions. We had one related to this book specifically, from Music Mama. Did Ewan pretend to die in the fire? Do people in Covent Garden recognize him? And I think what saves Ewan coming back to Covent Garden is that no one knew he was the Duke of Marwick. they like knew he was a toff. They maybe knew he was a duke. I think they just knew he was a toff. Either way, I think because they don't know his name, and now he has a new name because he takes Grace's, that saves him.
But also, like, the don't bite the hand that feeds you. Like, the bare knuckle bastards are the not the patriarchy, but they are the aristocracy of the garden.
Yes.
So it's like, well, if my queen says you're okay, you're okay.
Like, we guess you're cool. Yeah. So I think he's okay.
And obviously, the whole point of the burning it down was to appear dead to the rest of the society, and gives back all of the land and the property to the queen. So therefore, no heirs to be had.
Yes.
The line ends with them.
The line ends with them.
But they get their future. So all works out.
Babies. All the babies. Awesome. Okay. I think I may have hit all of my points. Do we want to, if you have 2, we can do some Hell's Bells talk before we move into Aftergarden.
let's discuss Hell's Bells because there's so much setup in this book.
There's so much setup in this book. So here's what we know, the facts. Coming next summer, 4-book series from Sarah. She thinks the tagline is "The edge of the ballroom has the best views and the best stories." And she said the 4 books will be, and she's very specific about this order: The Scandal, The Bluestocking, The Spinster, and The Duchess. And we meet them all in this book.
And because of meeting them in Dominion, that's the name. That was the name of the party.
Yes, the party.
Yes. What's the name of the club again?
It's just like 72 Shelton.
72 Shelton.
Yeah, they don't get like a name.
So we don't get their full last names or first names at all because it's protected by privacy.
Yes.
So it makes it even more teasing.
Yes, because we get a few, right? So the Duchess does seem to be this Duchess of Trebizond. We find out that she is married to a duke who doesn't like London, so he lives in Sicily. She feels a little bit like Grace Georgiana, like playing matchmaker. We know that she kind of worked with Ewan to deliver the message about his masquerade. She seems real fun. I like her a lot.
But I love the fact that she was like, I will not wear a mask because here's where I have true freedom. So why would I hide who I am? Yes. I'm like, what a queen. And the perfect like last book for a Sarah MacLean pattern because she's like a fuck who cares kind of lady and we stand.
And again, it's clearly going to be a second chance romance if like her husband who's off in Sicily has to like win her back. So
it's another pattern unless he dies and it's someone else.
I don't like that. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Could be a second chance for someone from her past.
It could be. It could be someone in the club, but we don't know.
Azriel.
I love Azriel. My little bookworm baby. So we have first letters of the names for the other ladies. We have Lady S.
Lady S is definitely Cecily.
Cecily, Caleb, and we know that they're book 1. Cool. We're all excited. We get Miss L, who's supposed to be the Bluestocking. We've wondered if that's Lilith from Day of the Duchess, but Lilith is a lady. So I don't know enough about titles in historical England to know if you can go from a lady to a miss. I don't think so, but it's our only guess so far. If anyone has
the only other L who's unaccompanied.
Because we do find out from Felicity's book that Lilith is still single, but she's called a lady in that book. So we'll see. There's Lady A, who is the quiet, aging spinster. And Lady N.
She would be the perfect first book in the series.
She would.
For a MacLean pattern, but alas.
We're breaking that pattern. I think she's too excited to get to Sicily.
Sexily.
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 Mixing everything.
But I think we also got hints in which book? Day of the Duchess. That like Cecily might not be as scandalous as she makes it seem.
Cecily might be a virgin heroine, everyone.
And Caleb is going to be so excited.
I need it. Our very last member of the Hell's Bells. So there are only 4 books again, but there are 5 members of the girl gang. The last one is Lady N, who we know is Nora. So I think we're going to get lots of Nick and Nora in this story. I love the 2 of them like fighting together in the raid, and Nick's like trying to protect Nora, and Nora's like, no, I'm going to fight with my woman. Like, the cutest.
They're so cute how they make each other blush. It's just like adorable.
I love them. I just love them. I love that Nick is so like put together, and then Nora walks in and it's like she like can't handle herself. So
Cecily, I think she's all talk. She plays a good game. I love that for her.
Yeah.
Lilith, she better get a happily ever after.
Benedict.
Poor Benedict. I forgot about him, which I think Sarah did too. He's forgettable in how nice he is.
Yeah, she don't want him.
She don't want to give him anything.
She don't.
Oh my god, do you remember Stanhope?
Stanhope? Do I remember Stanhope? The original Stanhope Stan. He's everything to me. In our interview with her, where she was like, he was going to get a book, I'm so upset that, like, this was an alternate reality that we could have lived. And we don't get to live it. But it's fine. It's fine. We have other really great heroes, I guess.
Oh, and then I feel like we didn't really talk about other characters that we got a little glimpse of in this book. We did hear about, we know that the Ralstons were at Dominion for the night, and so was Leighton and Juliana.
Yes.
Just having a great family moment while they're sexing up each other.
Right. And I'm glad, because Callie clearly wanted like a kinky life. And I just like to think that she's living it now with Ralston in like 72 Shelton. I'm happy about that. Like, you get it, girl.
Got a brief glimpse of Nelson.
And Nelson, who we assume goes off and has his own HEA with his lady, which is really cute and like exciting.
And Leighton and Lamont are doing great things in Parliament at the behest of Ewan. So great on them.
Yeah. And I like that too. I like this toss-up we get between like, there are people who like exist in these systems of power who are like trying to fight the good fight and do the right thing. And like, we love them for that. And then there's like Grace and Ewan who are like, we just cannot work within these systems. We're going to fight our own fight. And I think both of them are really nicely shown in Sarah's universe and like equally worthy in their fights. So yeah.
Oh my god, that was everything. I love that we did this on YouTube because we got to have a full hour of discussion.
Yes. And now, let's do it. We have some wrap up stuff and then we have after party.
Okay.
So
are we ranking them yet?
Yeah.
Oh, that's after.
We can rank them.
Talk first.
Okay. Let's some really quick things. Melissa just brought up the Raid at the Fallen Angel. So the Fallen Angel is one of the clubs that we see rated here because it's one of these places. Well, specifically the other side is mentioned because it caters to women. They mention that they are like rebuilding, I think. So I really hope that we get to see more mentions of the Fallen Angel in the future, because like that's another one that I'm like, how Sarah loves to have all of her different places. It's going to reopen. I assume we're seeing Azriel again. Why else bring him up here?
Oh, so, yeah. I want like a Caroline book eventually. I think like just in seeing like all the little girls, a Bare Knuckle Babies book.
Babies.
But also, like Ralston, like that whole family, they had two girls and a boy, I think.
Yeah.
And then obviously all the casino people had children. Caroline, she could be more like recent. Like she'll happen earlier than everyone else's babies, but she'll be older.
She'll take us there. We're getting there eventually. All right. Some quick wrap-up stuff. So tomorrow we'll be posting the new bingo boards. We have review cards for Daring and the Duke, and for the whole Bare Knuckle series, and for McLean's entire backlist. So y'all are getting a lot of fun review cards. So
and if you haven't been filling them out, you'll see our rankings.
Yes. Enjoy. And yeah, you can always find them. We both have highlights on our profile pages on Instagram.
Mine's not updated, so that's just
mine
chaos.
is updated for everyone.
So check out Kelly.
Find that there. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Do we want to rank some books?
Yeah. Also, this we'll probably be discussing Fall for Joanna Shupe in a bit too.
Yes.
But either one of us will be putting in the chats like our typical like this post and you'll be added. But instead, we're just going to be putting that, and then we'll be writing down everyone's like handles so that if you do want to get added to Fall for Joanna Shupe and you want to make sure that like we don't have to like remind you and you don't forget or anything, and you'll get automatically added to a group, we'll be doing that and then taking you down. So don't worry about like falling behind in pandemic times, because
we got you.
We all need a break.
Yes, and that's September 28th, I believe, is our start date there. So something to look forward to. Yeah. All right. So we're going to give our rankings of the entire McLean series. I want y'all to share yours as well. This is going to be intense. I mean, we've talked about these for a long time, so I don't think we need to spend too much time on like the reasoning why for each. Just, it is what it is. That's what these are. Are you ready, Dana?
I need to refill.
The priorities over here.
I'm a go big or go home kind of girl. I need to get all of my books.
Yes.
They've been nicely stacked up here for a while. Oh my God, can we start from least favorite to most favorite? Because like that's easier.
Yes. All right. So everyone, if you had to pick a least favorite, which doesn't even mean you didn't like it, just means it is the bottom.
We love them all. I'm gonna.
What would your bottom be?
What would your bottom be? That was like a different kind of question.
What's the bottom of your ranking? What is number 15?
We're waiting on everyone to respond. Okay. Let me get organized.
Okay, you get organized. I got mine ready.
I feel like the chat is a little laggy because I've been noticing it. So let's just wait. Plus, off the book. Brazen's on the floor.
It's like watching one of your videos.
I am chaos at all moments in time.
Always dropping the books.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Oh, I saw the first one.
The season. Go. All right.
Oh, I love that.
I don't know. I just like don't.
It was
sorry. But what even, Nicholas?
At least there was some sex. So that's
higher. I think that's the thing. I rank the season slightly higher because of the work it does.
Oh yeah, it was for there's nothing else like it.
Ooh, interesting to see. Yeah, we got some other 10 ways here.
Yeah, 11.
Okay.
11 Scandals is your least favorite.
I love Temple. Out of here.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Ready? Maybe we're just swapping.
Yeah.
Again, the work this season is doing is really impressive to me. So that's where.
Oh my God, this requires thought.
This requires.
Okay, are we including the Christmas book in this?
I was.
Okay. Okay.
It's the next one, which is fine, but like, yeah, I know a lot.
I ranked Tessa and Joanna Shoup higher than Sarah in this, so
yeah,
that's why it's going here.
Sorry, Sarah.
Okay. Farewell. Oh Jesus. This is getting harder. Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Poor Juliana.
I know you like this one. It's good. They're all good.
I know. They're all fantastic. We all love them all.
We love them all.
Yeah, this one is just like, it's fun, but like, it's not a fave.
Yeah. No, I feel that. Okay. This next one I feel like might be controversial because the group really likes this one. And it's not that I don't. It's not that I don't. Okay. Ready? Oh.
Yeah, everyone loves Cross and Pippa.
And I do too. They're good. They're great.
I love Scott too.
They're like not my like ultimate catnip. So they just rank a little bit lower.
Okay.
But okay. I know what you're doing to me. I know what you're doing to me. Fine. This was fun.
I know.
I love Rogue so much. I know that he is a very like on the line.
It's a how dare to Kelly or to me?
Just how dare to everyone, I think.
Okay, yeah.
So, it might be about Pippa. I'm sorry. I said I was sorry. I had a disclaimer. It's fine. She's great. She's great. Cross made it to the final round of voting.
Okay, I have my next one.
Me too.
I love Georgiana, but like I didn't love this book that much.
I mean, we're getting to the point where this is where the hard decisions.
After the next one, it's all gonna be like they're all my favorite.
Yeah. We're getting to that point.
Thorn was kind of gross. I'm sorry, Judith.
Thorn he grew. He had growth.
I know. You love just like
I love. He's so broken. He's so broken.
The stockings though, that was great.
I'm sorry, Sophie. Sorry, Cross. Ready? There we go. Yeah, Georgiana.
Our rankings are similar.
That's the thing, yes. We have, yes. They're like all kind of in the same. We have like some that really deviate.
Ooh.
But
this might hurt some people.
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Okay. Oh.
Look at us.
I just, that's the thing. We're at the point where I love all of the books, but it's like hard when this one just connects so much with the others.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Ready?
Yeah, we have differing opinions on this one.
We do. Both of these books, they're like opposite in our ranking.
I just love Juliana. She just goes for it, you know?
She does. No, she does. And I respect her, you know?
She's the best of the Candles.
She is.
Ooh. Oh, well, this helps because I had 2 Brazen the Beast copies. That one had to be. Like, it felt
no wonder the stack is so big.
Well, I had like the ARC, and they're all signed.
Oh, yeah.
I think everything I have signed except for like Never Judge a Lady, maybe.
Oh, dang.
And Juliana's book.
I think I just have the later ones, the Bare Knuckle series.
I've met Sarah
and Duchess.
And she's always like, I recognize you.
Now she will never forget you.
I know. Well, and then sometimes now it's like the past recent signings. I'm like, well, I work with Kelly. She's like, Kelly, I love Kelly.
We're good friends. I wish.
Okay. Oh. Sorry, this is rough. I get it.
I mean, I get yours too. It's not an easy book.
Sarah for
I just like the drama.
Yeah. I've been to like now 2 KissCon events, which Avon was doing. I know they got canceled and stuff. So I went to Chicago and New England, and they were really great. So when things are normal,
yeah.
KissCon, Avon is everything you wanted. Okay. Oh, this is rough.
Yeah. Ready? Okay. Oh, I'm happy that's so high for you. I
love Temple.
I love Temple. I love Mara. Like, ugh. Okay, everyone, like top 3. Throw them out there. That's where we're at.
Okay. Well, okay. Number 3.
Number 3.
Allie.
Mara.
I can't believe that this was her debut.
I know.
So mind-boggling.
It has taken a long time for this to fall from both of our number 1s. Like, this used to be at the top of the ranking, like every time. Okay.
Wicked.
Duchess.
Which
was number 1 forever for me. This is like a book that blooded me.
Obviously. It's all number 1 in our hearts.
Clearly. Because we have won cover, step back, hero, heroine. Like,
introducing me to his Instagram has been like life-changing.
He is a pit bull, and it is so delightful. Like, as if I couldn't love him more, because I'm just like your beast in my head.
He posts like his morning routine of like him with his dog, and he looks at the stock market. I'm like, who are you? Like, I love it.
Right? I'm like, okay, whatever. Just keep showing
me.
Better
be Democratic, like
dogs. I know.
It would ruin me if he posts something about Trump. I would die.
I will instant unfollow. Feel like you are no longer beast. I'm replacing you with Tom Hardy. Who deserves to be
every
there.
character is Tom Hardy. Then
every character is Tom Hardy. But okay.
This was so great seeing everyone else's rankings too. It's so different.
Forever Hattie.
Things just hit different for other people.
Exactly.
Ooh, I love seeing how many people have 11 high on their rankings. Like, I love Juliana.
See,
I wondered one book I stayed up all night reading.
I know. We were like, I'm done. I was like, it's Tuesday.
No, I think it was like Monday and I was done.
You were like on it.
And then like from downhill from there. Behind everything.
You were like, now I'm going to relax. Yes, I agree.
Next series, I need to do the summaries for the days, so I at least stay caught up. I'll take the work from you.
Thank you. The other night, I was telling Dana, everyone, but I was like drinking with my roommate the other night, and she was like, "You don't need to read." So we like drank more than we should have. But I was like, no, I got to do the summary tomorrow. I like stayed up and did the chapters. So yes, I will pass the torch to you, Dana. But it's helped. It helps me stay on track because I'm like, they're counting on me for the summary. I got to do it.
Oh, I need accountability.
Right.
Well, no, I'm hot now. It's fine.
It's perfect.
Okay, after party.
After party. I wish I had like little sparklers or neon.
Oh, I could change the banner.
Change the banner. We are officially in the after party.
Okay. Bam.
Y'all gotta tell me if I get too. I'm like trying not to get too dark because my window is starting. The sun is starting to go down here.
What's the beauty of having an office basement?
You got your ring light.
Like, there's a ring light behind me to like help the shadow.
That's amazing.
Unless I could be really bright.
See, I'm like starting to rely on my laptop for like the brightness here. But okay, so fun McLean thing coming up earlier than Hell's Bells is Naughty Brits. So this is an upcoming anthology hitting e-shelves on September 15th. You can pre-order it. Sarah is publicist. Her first contemporary short story.
So.
Yes. Yeah.
Some people don't change their thoughts.
Yes. So yeah, we're really excited. I imagine y'all will be really excited. Her publicist was so wonderful and sent us both an early copy. So I think we're not going to be able to resist diving in like now that we're done. I know, I'm just going to read it all tomorrow. It's fine. So
if y'all have thoughts and need to talk to us, where'd that y'all come from? Like from New York. So I don't know, but like DM us, like DM one of the old groups. We'll be here for you.
We're here. Just slide right in. Like we're ready to talk about it.
And we know, like Sierra Simone is the last story in that thing. It's gonna be wild.
Yeah. Who? I'm pulling it up now.
Sophie Jordan. So we've read one of Sophie's. That should be fun.
Tessa Gratton. This is Tessa Gratton's first romance. Sierra Simone. Louisa Edwards, who I've never read before.
I don't think she's published in a while, I heard.
No.
That's
Sophie Jordan and Sarah.
I was thinking about Joanna Shupe, but she's in the historical one with Sierra Simone.
Yes, there is.
Dude, I'd like to fuck?
Yeah, it's like Dude, I'd like to F.
Dude, I'd like to fuck. I was about to say, Dude, I'd like to fuck.
Well.
Like, dude, where's my car?
But that's not coming out for like a minute, I think. It's coming out in a while. I don't know. I pre-ordered that too. It's just all a fun surprise when it eventually like hits my Kindle and I get the email that's like, your book is here. I'm like, oh, cool. Okay, so we had some group questions that y'all sent in. So let's start with those, right? After party goodness. B in her books wanted to know, and like I want y'all, you might be saying y'all because I keep saying y'all. I'm trying to like weed you guys out of my vocabulary because it's like not super inclusive. I also just realized we're wearing the same shirt because the brand. He burned down the patriarchy. I had to wear it.
Obviously. Also, it's clean, so that
exactly. But yeah, like I'm trying to weed out you guys, and like weirdly, I'm just defaulting to y'all as my gender inclusive term.
But then it like also comes out with like a New York, New Jersey accent, and it's like, you want some coffee, y'all?
Y'all want some coffee?
Want some coffee?
Oh my god, it's fine. We're all good, guys. Miss Ian then.
The after party, we're like less structured than normal.
We're just chaos. Thank you for staying. Okay, so B in her books wanted to know, what is your favorite cover?
And we all know the McLeaners' favorite cover was Praising the Beast, because we have plus size rep, which
we have plus size rep.
Hallelujah.
Like it has to be. I'm like laying them all out now.
I think.
What do you all think?
have a
It's
soft
such a
spot
good
for this
cover.
cover
Yes.
because of the pants.
I feel like it is just an iconic romance cover. Like, it just deserves to be like recognized as one of the best ones there is.
Like, the step back's
like,
not as great. Like, I understand
Yeah.
that losing. And then, like, probably one of my least favorite covers is actually Daring and the Duke. Like, I love the yellow, but, like, there's something really, I don't like how she was photoshopped to be so skinny.
Yeah, like, right? She's supposed to be our,
Like, I prefer the step back.
muscly, yeah, because she's
got her buff arms.
A fighter and a boss. Yeah, I agree. I do really love Georgiana's cover. I have always, I mean, I love Duchess. I mean, I love this book, but I think just like it's a little so different, right? With like this open back dress and the way that she's kind of like gazing right out at the reader. Like, I don't know, something about this really like captivated me. Yes, the Christmas cover.
She's super gorgeous.
Good. And it's like so nice. It's not like super Christmassy. Like, it doesn't feel like Christmas threw up on it. It's just like a subtle nod to.
Like, I like this one too because I like the glasses and the way she's like sitting down at a desk.
Yeah.
But like, I don't envision her as Pippa.
Yeah. Also, Christina, you're right. I don't understand how Grace is not in pants on this cover. That's what she wears most of the book, a corset and pants. Like, I wanted it.
I'm just like, her arm, like, how could her arm, like, in the flex be, like, I shouldn't flex, but
I think it's hard coming off of a more size-inclusive cover to go to, like, the
Photoshop
woman, like, on the planet.
But even, I think, Felicity, like, her cover model does not look, like, Photoshopped in any way. Like, those look like real legs.
Yeah.
You know?
And I'm here for it.
So that was a long discussion of, like, we both prefer Brazen and the Beast, but, like, Georgiana's book has a fantastic cover.
Georgiana's is, yeah, it's just one of the best romance covers.
This one is really nice, but again, like, 9 Rules could have been better.
Yeah, I don't love the early covers in the same way. I want it to take up the full cover. I like the glimpse, but I want it to be
10.
The full cover.
Oh, I love the way this feels accurate because she looks Italian in some way.
She does.
She's giving you that like stink eye. It's great.
Okay. HEA Apologist wanted to know, which is, by the way, I think one of my favorite usernames. It's so good. Favorite character cameo in later books. What is the one? Stanhope like shows up out of nowhere.
Stanhope.
He
has like really great cameos though, where he's like an actual character of influence.
Yeah.
But he was also at
this one. He shows up in this one. He goes on a date with her, right?
But wasn't he also at the dinner party?
Yeah, he's also at the dinner party. This is my favorite cameo, I think, though.
Or he was a real character in that book.
He's like a real character in this one, so maybe that doesn't count as the cameo.
Also makes me wonder how old he was in this book.
How I have been promising for a real long time that I was going to put the timeline together. So I will do that. And I will send it to the group maybe tonight. But yes, because that might help. But yeah, I think Stanhope in A Scot in the Dark, they go on a date in the park. He's just like delighted by the Dangerous Daughters. Like he ends up with his, widow at the end. I don't know. I love Stanhope always. So this, yeah.
I think maybe Benedict in Juliana's book.
Yeah.
He was just like the sweetest little bean. Like I couldn't not love him.
Yeah. No.
But I love like all of the random ball mentions in later books of like just knowing that everyone's happy.
Yeah, I agree. That's the thing. Those little background things. Also, bye, Mandy.
Bye, Mandy. We love you.
Love you, Mandy. Jif Queen. Yeah, I think those are always so good. Okay. This question came from Scallywag. Best thing about the Summer of Sarah MacLean read along. What did you learn?
Oh my God. So this is like I'm so thankful for you for inviting me along on this journey, because like we probably would have just done this together as coworkers. But like it's just been so great to have this whole group together of people who care about the same thing, and like it feels like this whole time has like moved so fast. Of like it's also kind of rough because like I am a person who doesn't drive. So like the pandemic has like hit me even harder because like public transportation doesn't feel like an option. So it's like I feel like even more secluded in my head. So like having like something to focus on is really powerful for me besides work. It's like who needs to focus on work 24/7? Don't tell our bosses.
No.
So like that's been great. But also like my day job is social media. So like learning different faculties of like hosting things has been really fun. But also just like engaging on a genuine level with other people is so beautiful and has been so amazing all summer. I'm gonna cry.
Yeah.
You talk. I can't.
I mean, I second all of that. I'm gonna start on the learning thing. I mean, I think, right, like Sarah had been a favorite author of mine. And I think like sometimes we're like, I love this author, but like don't maybe closely examine why, like what is connecting, what is working for me. And I think this read along has really shown me like the level of work going into all of these books, and like seeing those things, it's like, this is what's resonating with me about her work. This is why I love it so much. This is why I like cry sometimes when I read her books and like no one else's. So that's like a learning thing. But yeah, I think the best thing is the community that has like come out of it. Like I really was very emotional last night, like reading everyone's messages in the group. Because really this was genuinely like started because the things were really scary. I live with a nurse. My mom is a nurse. Both of them were working with COVID patients for some time. So I was just really like scared for them, for people that I love, and feeling, very trapped in my home. I live in an apartment and I needed something happy to lose myself in. So I reached out to Dana to be like, do you want to do this? Read along with me. And then like we jumped on the phone to talk about it. And I was like, what if we just invited anyone who wants to be a part of it? And Dana's like, I was literally thinking the same thing because we're like the same person sometimes, as you probably all have noticed at some point.
We didn't think anyone would join us.
No. We were like,
maybe Melissa Lee would.
Because she's like our friend. Yeah, we were like, we're going to do these lives and no one will come, but it's fine. And it would have been fine because reading with you, Dana, has just been such a joy. And it's been so beautiful, like to have you as like my like partner in all of this like scandalousness. It's been wonderful. But yeah, like I started my Instagram a few months ago. Actually, it's coming up on a year, I guess. But it's like, this has been the best thing that has come out of starting Bookstagram, is getting to connect with all of you, getting to talk to all of you every day. So just thank you. Thank you for coming on this journey with us. And like sharing your stories with us. Like the groups get really honest and vulnerable sometimes. And I just, to have that space ourselves, to be able to give it to all of you, like that means more than I can put into words. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of Sarah, like just the support from her has been really amazing. Like Kelly and I, obviously coming from a publishing background, I think we only tagged her maybe like one time, and the first time we launched that we were going to say this because like we didn't contact her beforehand, so it's kind of like, hey, we're tagging you because like this is happening, but also like
be aware.
But she really wanted this to be a safe space for readers to like talk about her work in a critical manner, and that's exactly what happened. And it's so really fantastic because I think once an author's book has hit the shelves, it's like a reader's book. So Sarah promoting it has been really great, but she's not been involved, and I love that. But also like Bee in her books has really championed us, and she's like she's queen of romance librarians. Like, we just stand her, support Bee in her book.
Yes.
Do all of the things she asked you to because she's amazing. And she joined us for a live that you can see on the channel now. Yes. About, oh my God, what book was that? Never judge a lady by her cover.
Her favorite book, her favorite McLean book, which is so good. Yeah. Okay. So, do we want to do games or recommendations next?
Oh my God. Let's do some games because Dana needs to look at her Kindle.
Okay. All right. So we have some this or that games that we're going to play with each other, but we also want all of you to be able to respond in the comments with what your things are. Oh, where did I put mine?
Oh, I have mine if you want me to read. Oh, you have different ones.
Yes, I have different ones.
So you go with yours because we asked Sarah other ones and we were going to ask them again. So yes. I think yours would be fun since we're already at an hour and 30 minutes.
Hello. Okay, so I am finding mine because apparently I misplaced them. But I remember the first one was, would you rather have a fencing lesson with Ralston or a boxing lesson with Temple?
Why did you do this to us?
It's a reasonable question. Okay, so answer in the chat, everyone. This would be,
do I get to have my breasts bound and for him to like put it back or unbound them?
I mean, it's your lesson. I think that you get to do what you want with it.
That was the best part of that scene.
That was the best part of that scene. That was. I'm sorry, like Temple doesn't have an amazing sex scene in the ring as well. Like, got some Ralston fans in the chat. I'm not surprised.
No, Ralston's a fucking babe.
Ralston's a babe. I'm not
hurts
fighting
my
that.
heart and my head. Maybe it's the wine speaking. I don't know.
Who would know? Yeah. I mean,
I'm gonna go with Ralston.
Yeah.
I'm tiny. I'm not gonna fight anyone.
Meanwhile, I'm like, Temple, I want to climb you like you're a tree. So put me in the ring, babe.
I would need a stool.
And you would still be like down there on him.
Yeah, well, that could be other things.
Wow. Okay. You want me to keep going?
We get spicy in the after party.
Right.
Yes, give them all to us.
Okay. All right. Would you rather attend Dominion at Grace's Bordello or Pandemonium at the Fallen Angel?
Dominion. It's all about female pleasure.
Yeah. I mean, Pandemonium's got to be a blast.
I know, but I'm going with the bastards.
Yeah, you got it.
This is cruel. This is cruel. LOL, Dana. I know. He's the OG Dominion. See, we on it. We know.
We're on it. Okay. Would you rather visit Madam H's shop or Sophie's bookshop?
Madam H. Like, I love me some books, but
yeah, I could go to any bookshop. I want a dress from Madam H.
A dress that's gonna be seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone who's anyone goes to Madam H.
Anyone.
Oh, we didn't see her in this last book.
Devastating. Though I like
better go see her in the next one.
Grace, we've seen, has gotten Madam H to make things for Felicity, so I have to assume the dress is from Madam H.
And so did Devil. Like, how the fuck did Devil know who she was? Obviously from Grace.
Right. Exactly.
Madam H. Everyone is from Madam H.
She's our like silent queen.
But you could go spot King at the bookshop.
We love. Would you rather race carriages with King or ride through Mayfair with Leanne?
Leanne.
Interesting.
What is your...
Oh, I would race with King.
Okay.
I'm like, let's go. Probably break our necks, but like...
That didn't end well for some people, but you could go see the hot surgeon.
Yes. It was really... I kept trying to think of a question that's like, would you rather assist the hot doctor or... And I couldn't think of what the or was. I'm like...
There's no ors.
There's no or.
The hot surgeon.
Like, I'm squeamish and I would still go for the hot doctor.
And he would probably tell you that you're about to die. Possibly. Like, anyone could die at the time.
It's like...
Louis Jeremy could get you. You never know.
Louis Jeremy. Okay. Would you rather be one of the scandalous sisters or a bare knuckle bastard? That face.
I love the bastards, but I don't think I want to be one of them.
It's scary. Their life is scary.
Their life is scary. Also, true sisterhood.
Yeah.
I think I want to be a sister.
I would marry into the bastards.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one because they were tortured for years. But I want to be one, as an adult, if they're adults.
I'll be their friend.
Yes.
Maybe a godmother to a child.
I mean, if you're a scandalous sister, you're friends with Cecily, who hangs out in Covent Garden. So
at Dominion.
Sophie, yell all you want. We are here for it.
We're a mess. Just yell at us.
Okay. This is my last question. But we have more. Would you rather dance in Malcolm's underwater ballroom or Ewan's forest masquerade?
I thought you were going to talk about the swimming pool. I was like, fuck yeah, I'd go to the swimming pool.
Oh.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with Malcolm's underwater thing.
Same.
That was real sexy.
It was so cool. It was so cool. I love it. I mean, I would love to go to Ewan's masquerade as well. But
also trees and outside.
Bugs.
Bugs. Yeah, bugs. Not bugs.
Yeah.
Ooh, forest, underwater ballroom.
See? We're here for it. Okay.
The swimming pool would be an option.
The swimming pool, yes. I don't know what's a good other for the swimming pool. Would you rather visit the swimming pool or...
Ooh, no, but that's the same book. I was fuck on the desk. Oh, ooh, The Fallen Angel, Under the Stained Glass.
Oh. Ooh. I feel like The Fallen Angel. I just love The Fallen Angel so much.
The imagery of just...
give anything to
the devil.
Was disgusting. I mean, because there doesn't seem to be a drainage and replacement system. So, yes, there are zero bugs.
Got a lot of money.
Yes, it's all fake moss on the ground.
The water is drained out and replaced on the reg.
These poor servants.
Or there's just a lot of chlorine. We don't know if they had chlorine at the time, but
who knows?
Maybe.
Ask the hot doctor.
He'll know about all the diseases we could have gotten.
He'll know.
Okay, so the other this or that things that we had were the ones from the Sarah McLean chat. So, it's been weeks since then, and Kelly and I have a terrible memory, so we're going to ask you them again. So, the first one. Would you rather a road trip to Scotland or a roulette game out of gaming hell, The Fallen Angel?
Again, I love The Fallen Angel, but I feel like the road trip is longer. I get more out of that option than I do with a single game or a single night at The Fallen Angel.
Yeah, it's a momentary excitement, whereas there's probably carriage sex.
Probably. If that's not happening, why are we even road tripping anywhere?
What's the point of a romance
What's
novel?
The point?
What's the point? Okay, road trip.
We got lots Scotland. Of yes. Thank you, everyone.
We're all in agreement. Though it would be real sexy to play roulette at The Fallen Angel.
It would be. It would.
Which I feel like that's what Sarah picked.
Yeah, I think it is. Well, because she's I've been to Scotland. I haven't been to The Fallen Angel.
I would love to go to Scotland. McLeaner reunion.
Yes, in Scotland next year for House Bells.
Okay, next one. We're getting to the food. There could be sex at The Fallen Angel. That is very true.
There should be.
The next one is very delicious. Shortbread cookies or strawberry tarts.
Okay, I gotta say strawberry tarts.
Or our other food is lemon candies.
Oh, lemon candies. Lemon candies.
I'm going with shortbread cookies because I'm a bland bitch.
Right. Just I realized I don't like them when I made the batch.
I was very disappointed for you.
Yeah, they're just not my jam.
I love anything I could dunk in a cup of coffee.
I mean, there you go. Yeah, they're good for that. But
tarts and lemon drop. Tarts.
Yeah.
I'll take all your shortbread. Because I ate them all the ones that I bought. Carriage ride. Oh, this was, I feel like we've already answered
Oh, this is kind of similar. Yeah.
It's like, where would you want to have sex? Carriage ride or the boxing ring?
I mean, but like I would want to do it in both, but like if I had to pick the carriage, like that's like, right?
But it could also be bumpy.
Uncomfortable for sure.
Yeah.
If it's like King's carriage where he had like all that space for the wheels.
If he was very wealthy and had multiple horses.
But with cushioning, there needs to be like some.
If it was Mr. Darcy's carriage, it would be great too.
Wow.
Going with the carriage, probably.
Okay,
we're getting the boxing ring.
Okay.
Carriage.
I mean, the ring was so hot that scene.
It was really hot. But also, wasn't there a mirror?
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe we're gonna go with the ring.
I love Temple. Anything. Clearly, I like boxers because it's like Beast's thing too.
That's your thing. We need to find one for you.
I know. Okay, what's next?
Also, you like love Nick, so it's like also like bold. Or it's like you have a type. You like strong, dark, and brooding. You know.
Yes. Exactly. That's it. Like, super tormented on the inside. Likes to grunt a lot. Like.
And you'll be the blushing heroine.
Yes.
The last breeches or ball gown.
Oh.
I'm going with the breeches.
I know what you're going with. I'm going with the ball gown. I'm a ball gown kind of girl. But I'm here for you in those breeches, girl.
Easy access. Oh, but both.
Please.
Ball gown.
Lift those skirts.
There's less to dig under.
There it is. Okay. I'm looking in here. I'm not seeing anyone. Breeches or ball gowns, friends? What are we wearing?
Ball gown. Easy access.
I mean, also just to like be that like I can wear pants anytime. Like to be that fabulous in like big, beautiful Madame H ball gown. I want that.
I could be Grace with a corset on top.
Yeah, yes, I like this for you. On our road trip to Scotland.
We're just building a future life.
It's fine.
And the last one relates to some of our faves. Scandal sheet, or bucket list.
Wait, like, am I in the scandal sheet?
Yeah, you're in the scandal sheet, or you've written your own bucket list.
I think
like, either you've done the fun things and you're just like taking names, or you're like having aspirations.
I think I'm gonna go bucket list.
Ooh, fun. I think I'm gonna go scandal sheet. Like, I'd rather people talking about me.
See, and I'm like, I'm like, I'm gonna privately have my little thing.
Bad publicity is good publicity.
Like, I mean,
bucket list.
Yes.
Someone said scandal sheet. We on it, girl.
We have a template for Callie's bucket list actually in our Instagram highlights. So if you want to fill that out and you haven't yet, we like to see what your romance bucket lists are. They're super fun.
More likely you'll find that in Kelly's. Who knows if it's in mine?
Yes, it is in mine. You can find it there.
Oh my God. So we are like past probably where we would have been. Do we still want to do like our top threes, or do we want to just do some like recommendations, TBR breaks, fall for Joanna Shoup stuff?
Yeah, let's do some quick top threes.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Let's all think about your top 3 heroes.
Yes.
This is different from books because books are like, that's the whole thing. You just need like spoony guys. Okay.
Yep. Okay, got mine. I don't know how different mine is going to be from like my rankings, but
mine's slightly different. Okay. It's not my top 3 books. So, should I go number 3 men? Let's go number 3 on our men.
Yeah.
I fucking love Leighton.
Ralston.
Ooh, Ralston. I didn't put him in my top 3. That's spoilery.
I love Ralston. You love Ralston.
Everyone loves Ralston. But I love Ralston with Callie.
Weirdo. Yeah. See, I like him with me, with Callie, with whoever. Whoever.
I just love how mean Leighton is. That's probably says a lot about me.
Why? Yeah. He's a boss. He's a boss. I'll give it to you.
Okay.
2.
We're matching up from here.
Yes. Oh yeah. I think we all know who
Ooh, everyone is loving Cross. We got some temples up in here. Love that Temple. For y'all.
I mean, Temple was like her original, like grunty hero. Like,
we have types.
We have types. Okay. I mean, surprising. That's a grand total of 0 people.
I love that Leighton was almost your third. Like,
yeah,
I get it. Yeah. Ewan, interesting. Judith, you always surprise me.
Here for it, Ewan. Can get it.
Love it.
I don't know. My heroines, I don't think are any different. I think that's my heroine order as well. Right?
Mara's a queen. This is rough.
I have one change for heroines.
Oh no. Okay. I think mine's the same. No. What about Callie? Where is she? Oh my god, this book. Okay.
Okay.
This is rough.
Top 3 heroines, everyone.
Okay.
Okay. Ready?
Okay.
Sarah.
Yeah.
I love Sarah.
I'm surprised Malcolm didn't get into the top 3 heroes.
I know. It's the kind of like what you were saying, where it's like I love him and Sarah very specifically. So it's like I can't break them up, even for me. Okay.
Callie.
Yeah, Mara, my queen.
Callie she is everything.
Yeah. Callie was until I was like, oh right, Sarah. like
Ralston's like a bit of an ass, but Callie brings it out in him.
Callie's amazing. Hattie's number 1. Hattie's always number 1.
She's everything.
Yeah, I'm seeing lots of Pippas here.
Oh my god, I know. Everyone loves Pippa.
This is like a Pippa fan club. Everyone loves Pippa, which is great. Pippa's wonderful.
Pippa, Georgiana.
Felicity's a great one.
I think maybe because Georgiana didn't always fight for other women, I have a little thing against her.
I mean, we all have our faves.
Sophie is so sweet. I think maybe I'm just like, I want girls who want more.
Yeah. That's the thing. I think,
Lily.
I love my heroines. I think all have this, like, they're going after what they want very fiercely is, like, what they all have in common. And, like, all of Sarah's heroines do, but these 3, like, have a plan. They're like, this is what I'm doing, like, now.
Yeah, that's why Juliana probably would have been in there for me. Felicity, but it's like when you say 3, it's like pick your favorite. Sophie's choice.
Sophie's choice. And I think Mara is definitely. I think Mara and Temple are my favorite. Like new to me, where like I had read Brazen and the Beast before. I read Day of the Duchess before, but like of them all, of the ones that are like brand new to me as like a reader.
And Callie and Ralston.
Love Callie and Ralston.
Okay. Do we want to skip background bays? We know who the background bays are. Yeah. It's Azriel, Benedict, and Daniel.
Yeah. We're done.
So. And some random, like the random little pig. And we also had
Mrs. Worth.
Mrs. Worth.
Yeah, but we know who the top is.
We know. Stanhope.
Stanhope forever.
And then closely followed by Benedict.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do some non-Sarah MacLean discussions when we lead to fall. Do you want to share some recommendations, Kelly? And also maybe some books that are on your TBR for our 2-week-ish break.
Yeah. So I'll start TBR, I guess. So I am about to kind of go on like vacation. I'm taking off for a week. I'm really excited about that. So I think the book's kind of immediately on my TBR. I really want to read Katie Roberts has a series inspired by Disney villains. So I haven't decided which book I'm reading yet, but I'm definitely going to be reading a Katie Robert book. I'm going to be reading Priest for the very first time, which is like hotly discussed in romance. Bye, Melissa.
Also, we forgot the Hot Doctor. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yes, Hot Doctor. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so reading Priest as well. So I think those are my top two. I just got to figure out what the rest of. I'm like leaving tomorrow. I'm like, what is the rest of my vacation TBR? Who knows? It's happening. For recommendations between now and Fall for Joanna Shupe, if you like historical romance and you want more of that, and you like kind of maybe Sarah's more like dramatic, really intense books, I really recommend Meredith Duran. I really, really like her. She kind of does this like melodrama is the wrong word, but where it's like really emotional and really intense and like so delicious. So she has a few books that I really like. The Sins of Lord Lockwood and Ladies' Code of Misconduct are two of my favorites. So definitely recommend that. I also really love Cat Sebastian for historicals. Ruin of a Rake is probably my all-time favorite of hers. She writes really beautiful kind of like soft queer romances, and like those are also like really fun. Some of her later ones are like a little bit more intense. You might want some content warnings for them, but yeah, those are amazing. What else? Oh my god, there are just like so many good books, everyone. Something different if you're looking for something that's not historical. Someone I really love is Erin McLellan. Has a trilogy of novellas called So Over the Holidays. There is a Christmas one, a Valentine's Day one, and a 4th of July one, and they are like super erotic. And like the Christmas one, she works for a sex toy company, and she's presenting them to like a romance book club, and she gets snowed in, and the hero is a member of the romance book club, and like they use the toys on each other while they're snowed in. So it's like so spicy and delicious. So if you're looking for like, yeah, the third one has like a 4th of July orgy, and they're just really, really wonderful. I think my last rec, I'll give you one more contemporary. One of my favorite books that I read last year, and I'm like still thinking about it today, is Work for It by Talia Hibbert. And she writes a lot of really phenomenal romances. This is a contemporary. It's male. It's a little intense. Like look up content warnings if you need them. But like so emotional, like cinnamon roll hero goodness, and like I like cried on the beach reading it last year. So it's real good. Oh wait, I have one more. Okay, if you still want historicals, Alyssa Cole writes really great historicals. She has a short story called Agnes Moore's Wild Night, which is set in Scotland. The hero is white, the heroine is black, and it is phenomenal. I mean, Alyssa Cole is like a queen of short story and novella writing. So all of her books should be on your TBR if you haven't read them yet. But that one is one I read recently that I like need to talk to everyone about. So yeah, I think those are my recs. What do you got, Dana?
So I'm gonna rec some contemporary if you want like a palate cleanser. So obviously, I think Sarah maybe also recommended this, but like You Had Me at Ola by Alexis Daria. Should read it. Go read it. Also, great audiobook if you just want something to listen to. Also, I love audiobooks for like having the like perfect accent. It's fantastic. It's a celebrity romance with 2 telenovela stars, and it deals with Latinx conflicts of like feeling like good enough, but also like celebrity, like famous parts of like what that like consequences are. The hero is a single father, and the heroine is like just making her start, and he's a little bit older than her. Their meet cute is that he spills coffee on her first day of the like filming of her like first like starring role, and she has to like find a new outfit because she's wearing all white to look professional and really cute.
Yes.
And the assistant comes back to her with like an I Heart New York shirt and like booty shorts. So cute. Imagine that meet cute. Adorable. Yeah. And then again, if you want just like really quick things, Kindle Unlimited, I like just started getting back onto that train. I am super into reading a lot of like short novellas from Black female authors. They've like, I didn't realize like that was like a cultural thing with like Black authors on Kindle and like indie authors. So I just read Christina C. Jones for the first time, and I read Me and Somebody's Son, which is a sort of second chance romance. It stars like the female heroine. She like is a commitment phobe. She doesn't do it. She had a heart broken once. She's like not about it. And so she goes to the florist of the guy who sent her flowers, and she's like, ew, but like the flowers are really great. So I'm going to go to the florist, and so I just want them for myself. So she's going to get a new bouquet. And the guy who's the florist is like, oh my God, you like met in college. I was your boyfriend's friend. And she's like, oh, well, I turned you down once. And he's like, well, like it's been 10 years. So who cares about friendships? And she's like, yes, still. So like the whole novella is like her opening up her trusting in him. There's like a nude painting scene with him. It's 80 pages of magnificentness. So get on that. Things that I plan to read during the like break. Some more Kindle Unlimited stuff. Also, I really want to read Deal with the Devil by Kit Rocha, which is Mercenary Librarians. Yes. Hello. Yes. Want to read that. And then I want to dive into a little bit of Joanna Shupe because I've only read one of her books. So I feel like fake fan again. So I want to read like the Uptown Girls series, perhaps, so I can have like a discussion to build upon. But also The Courtesan Duchess, which is her first series, and it was a Regency. But if you've never read Joanna Shupe and you're like excited for fall for Joanna Shupe, where we're reading The Knickerbocker, which is also Gilded Age, I would start with The Daring Arrangement, which follows a heroine who is English and is coming to America to seek a husband who is wealthy. And so then you get kind of the best of both worlds, where it's like it feels like kind of the comfort food of Regency, but like you're getting into the Gilded Age and New York. There's that. I tried to be quick.
Amazing. But also perfect segue into, I think, what's going to be our closer here. Fall for Joanna Shupe is coming. September 28th, we're starting. So yeah, we're going to be reading the Knickerbocker series. Bocker, not boxer.
Catch Kelly every week saying Knickerboxer.
Sorry.
She wants everyone to be comfortable.
I do. And just like give me my fighters. Judith, we'll talk to you very soon. Yes, let's close ourselves out. So we're gonna put in the chats an early sign up for the Knickerbocker series chats. Make sure you get all 3 books. There's 3 books and 1 novella. So we have Magnet, Baron, Mogul, and then this comes with the novella that we're going to be reading as well, Tycoon.
And they're also all on Scribd. So if you haven't like ever signed up for Scribd ever, you can like, I think there's like a free month or something. So you can start that free month and read all of the books and then cancel it.
Yep. Which is a good plan.
There's like a free, like a referral link in my other YouTube videos if you want to go through that. I don't know.
I think Hoopla has as well, the library app. Libby might, I'm not sure. But yeah, excited for that in September. We have some other fun fall stuff coming down the pike that we'll keep everyone updated on. But
I know it'll be sad. There'll be a big break between the fall seasonally booked up, which is what we're calling these. Yes. Because we're going to keep doing them every season because we just love the community that we've found with all of you. So we'll be thinking about winter. Yes. And obviously we'll probably be surveying you guys to like see what y'all are into. It would be fun to break out of historical, but there might be some like fun plans in November and December.
Maybe.
That aren't a full-on author thing.
Yes. More on that soon. But Wow, we've talked for almost 2 hours. Hello.
2
Thank
hours.
you, everyone, for staying with us. I don't even know what's happening. But, I mean, thank you. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, McLeaners. Thank you, Sarah. This has been just amazing. Wonderful. It just means a lot to have this community in this really, really tough summer. So, yay, like the Bare Knuckle Bastards, heading into the future, bright things ahead. Yeah, just love you all.
It's been so fantastic to have all of you guys to talk to all summer long. So this is the end of Summer of Sarah McLean, and it's been really fantastic.
This is the end. Oh my gosh.
We'll be talking tomorrow.
I know. We're going to see you.
We won't cry.
In 2 seconds. It's fine. And a reunion next summer for Hell's Bells. So.
And we'll be talking in September.
Yes.
It is September currently.
I know. It's like not like it's like really ending.
Naughty Grits comes out.
Yes.
So excited. Support Sarah.
Support Sarah. Joanna.
You'll get some more of us soon.
Yes. All right. We'll see you for the next read along, everyone. Bye.
I'm ending the broadcast.